So how you doing? Thank you. The battle people always do. How are you? How far we usually go? They're Robert, my hero from last week. Good to see you.
My friend's house today. Yes, next week. And then he'll be next week. We're getting there. Wasn't built today. It takes some time. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Bonita. Please join me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we have forgiven our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Good morning. My name is Sue Carey. Thank you. And I will be your platform assistant today. And of course, it is always our pleasure to thank each and every one of you who have joined us today. For all of those who are watching online, thank you. We appreciate that you take the time out of your day. And if you're in the area, we certainly welcome you always to come and join us in our sanctuary. Unity really is our spiritual home where truth is taught, hearts are opened, and lives are changed. So we are grateful that you're here today. And first of all, I would like for us to join together in repeating our mission and our vision statements. Our mission statement is to invite and inspire spiritual consciousness through unity and its principles. We are love, joy, and acceptance in the world. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. I would like to mention our prayer box, which is always in front. Anytime you feel the need for additional support and that you would like to leave a message, we are more than welcome to respond to that, and we thank you for feeling comfortable to do that. So please, by all means, use our prayer box.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'll be your prayer chaplain today. My name is Candace. And after we say these affirmations, perhaps we'll do the affirmation for a new minister together after. March affirmations. It's March already. Wow. marching on. March affirmations. I will say the affirmation and then we'll repeat it together with feeling. Inner peace. I release all to God. My spirit is peaceful and free. Together. I release all to God. My spirit is peaceful and free. Back in my day in the 60s and 70s, being a free spirit was how I was sometimes described. Living in nature, not a care. Living knowing God always loved me, filled my spirit with peace. To this day, I am still a free spirit. Guidance. I open my mind to divine inspiration and follow my divine direction. Together. I open my mind to divine inspiration and follow my divine direction. Ask and you shall receive is what we've always been told. The key is the asking, the gift is the direction. Healing. Every atom of my being is invigorated with healing life. Together. Every atom of my being is invigorated with healing life. We're going to say this affirmation 3 times together. Each time, we're going to add to the vibration, our own vibration, through emphasis. More invigorated. Okay, shall we start? Every atom of my being is invigorated with healing life. Again. Every atom of my being is invigorated with healing life. Last time, let's give it our all. Every atom of my being is invigorated with healing life. Yes. Jerry, that was great. Prosperity. I am prospered by divine love. Together. I am prospered by divine love. A perfect example of feeling divine love was Reverend Phil and Joe's presence last week, and the love that generated was palpable. And the love glow lasted quite a while after. I don't know about you all, but it did for me. I was vibrating all day long. They just are full of love. It was good to see them. Feeling divine love prospers us all. World peace. I am an emissary of peace and harmony in the world. Together. I am an emissary of peace and harmony in the world. Lead with your heart. Let what would Jesus do be the question before decisions, and smile. Now you are an emissary of God, peace, and harmony. Namaste. And now, in this feeling of togetherness, we are going to say the affirmation with feeling again for our new minister to come. Together. Unity of Bonita Springs is abundantly blessed. Creative people are drawn to us. Divine ideas flow through us. Financial resources bless us. We are attracting the perfect and right minister to us now. And with God as our source, we accomplish mighty works together. Amen.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. There's a holy hush around as God's glory fills this place. I've touched the hem of the garment. I can almost see God's face, and my heart is overflowing with the fullness of God's joy. I know without a doubt that I've been with the Lord. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Now I'd like to take a few moments to do a meditation. If everybody will just relax and take a deep breath and exhale out through the bottom of your feet. Great, thank you. Okay. So again, if everybody will just relax comfortably into your chairs. Allow yourself these few moments to go into the silence, letting go of the week, letting go whatever's on your mind. Just go into a silent, peaceful state of oneness. Oneness with Source, oneness with God, oneness with your higher self. And just let go. Just let your body relax and allow peaceful healing energy to come down, surround your entire body, and feel it coming down through your crown chakra, just coming down and filling you with golden light and love, unconditional love and acceptance for who you are, the special spark within you, the spark of God that's within your heart. And just fill your heart with this unconditional love for you. And as your heart starts to feel full, allow your heart to start to beam the love out from the front of your heart and into the back of your heart. Feel as if you're a lighthouse along the shore, just beaming your light into the darkness. Beam the light for all to see, to come to safety, the safety of the light. So just beam and just be. And now allow that light to fill your heart once again. Make your heart be full of this light, this unconditional love and acceptance for you. That special spark within you that only you were able to bring to the earth at this time. So in gratitude, just receive. And when you're ready, you can slowly start to open your eyes and come back into this room.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh why can't I? Thank you.
Thank you, that was beautiful. Our very special guest speaker today is Mary Catherine Volk. She is a best-selling author, a spiritual life coach, and obviously a speaker. She serves as an ambassador between the worlds. A childhood near-death experience gave Mary the gift of knowing that life exists beyond this physical realm, that life is eternal, and that the importance of a positive attitude. She has a private practice and can be reached on her website. Her website is simply her name, marycatherinevolk.com, just in case you don't have a pen with you. And her 2 books will be out front, and I hope you'll have a chance to explore them as well. So thank you, Mary, for being with us today, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Sam, for that lovely introduction. And it feels so wonderful to be here today. I have to say, I was a member of Unity Church. It was about 8 years ago now. I was living here, and then I went home because my first grandchild was going to be born back in Rhode Island, so I returned. But I always love to come back here and visit, and what a beautiful place you have here. And in this church is just so special, and all the people that are in it. So I'm going to speak to you today about a subject that a lot of us don't like to think about, death, and where do we go, and what happens to us. But it's coming. We're all going there. So like it or not, we might as well learn about it, right? So I was gifted as a young child to get a glimpse of it, all right? So that's what I would like to do, is share that with you today, along with another near-death experience by a 27-year-old woman. So you'll see on a child's perspective and an adult's perspective, which is much broader and more descriptive than mine was. So, but I like to call it that it was the miracle of my near-death experience, because it changed my life. It led me on a search to find a religion or other people who believed or knew what I already knew. It was, very difficult to be 6 and know things or be aware of things that nobody else was teaching at the time. I was raised Roman Catholic and went to Catholic schools. I was in the 1st grade when I had my near-death experience, but it took me many years of searching to find my tribe, and I found it in an organization called IONS. It's the International Association of Near-Death Studies. It's a nonprofit organization that promotes research, education, and support around near-death and related experiences. The aim of our organization is to explore and deepen our understanding of near-death experiences and what we have learned about human consciousness from people who have had a near-death experience. Our research has found that people who have had a near-death experience report an amazing journey after they've been revived. They share an exploration of human consciousness existing outside of this physical body. The most commonly reported type of near-death experience involves intense feelings of peace and joy, and a feeling of unconditional love and well-being. That is with everyone. That is across the board, what everyone feels. The near-death experiences belong to a larger family of experiences that transcend the usual limits of space or time and have the potential to transform a person's life and beliefs. They are often called spiritually transformative or mystical experiences. The people come from virtually all cultures and religious backgrounds. Accounts can also be found in the folklore and writings of many cultures. Now, this is something I didn't know. The earliest known description of a near-death experience was recounted by Plato and found in his book, The Republic, which was written in 420 BC. Okay? The term near-death experience was coined by Dr. Raymond Moody in his famous book, Life After Life. It was published in 1975, and the International Association of Near-Death Studies was formed after that in 1981 by a group of researchers subsequent to the outpouring of thousands upon thousands of letters to Dr. Moody from all over the world, who realized for the first time they were not the only one to have had this experience, because really before that there was no information about this at all, or people coming together. There is one common element in all near-death experiences. They transform the people who have them. You are not the same person when you come back. Dr. Moody wrote, "In my 20 years of intense exposure to near-death experiences, I have yet to find one who hasn't had a very deep and positive transformation as a result of the experience." I will share with you the most common features that get reported. Some may only have one or two of these elements, and in a few cases, some people may have all of them. And again, I have found people that are older and have more worldly knowledge do experience more, because they're able to understand it and receive it. But they may experience a sense of being outside one's physical body. You leave your body. You see your body, but you're not in it anymore. A sense of movement through a darkness or a tunnel, and then movement into a powerful, loving light. It's a light that is beaming with love. Reports of experiencing intense emotions and heightened perception, seeing vividly colorful landscapes and flowers. It's colors that you have never experienced here on this earth. It's a dimension, a level of vibrant, that's the way you can describe it. You have never seen the colors on this earth that are there. And that's the one thing that strikes you when you first enter, is it's like you all remember, I can tell, maybe there's a couple over here may not, but how television was black and white, and remember the family in the neighborhood who got the colored TV, right? And it was like, oh my goodness, look at that color. Well, this picture here is pretty good. That is very, very vivid and bright, intense color. But many of them encountered deceased loved ones or spiritual or religious figures, depending on what your beliefs are, is a lot of who will come to you at that time. An intense feeling of unconditional love and acceptance. This is one of the major ones. There is just so much love and acceptance for everyone. There's no judgment. Cosmic knowledge of self and the universe, of who you were. You remember you've gone home. A sense of comfort and knowledge of their surroundings. Like again, I'm home. This isn't foreign. This is familiar. Feeling they've returned home. Having a life review. Many people will have that. It depends how long they're there. And what their life was like, quite frankly, and whether they're going back or not, being told that it's not their time. This is quite common. They still have work to do. A deep sense of oneness and interconnection with all life. Not wanting to go back to Earth, as you'll see my friend Lee experience. Given knowledge of future events as to why you need to go back. Because there's something coming in the future that you have to be there for. If you're not there, it's not going to happen. So you have to go back. And then messages regarding their life purpose, which would be that you are a pivotal point in this future event happening. So you have to go back for that. Nearly all near-death experiences report a strong decrease or a complete loss of fear of death. At least 98% of those surveyed now believed there is life after death. And suicide attempters do not attempt to take their lives again. Now that's pretty profound. They have a sense of spiritual growth, a more loving attitude, inner peace, and a renewed sense of purpose of life. Over 80% of those surveyed expressed a strong increase in their concern for others and that life has meaning or purpose. Over 89% report an increase in psychic phenomenon or healing abilities following a near-death experience. A lot of people that go into the healing modalities have had them, especially childhood ones. Such a transformation reorders a person's life compass, shifting it from an externally focused instrument to an internally focused instrument. The important thing, that message from all near-death experiences, is to believe your life has meaning. I really can't express that more. Every one of us has a very specific purpose and gift as to why you're here at this time. Everything you do, say, think, feel, and every action you initiate matters. It really matters. Every relationship is significant, and every choice you make, no matter how small, has enormous consequences. I know this because I had a childhood near-death experience, and I was given the gift of knowing that life is eternal and we always have access to divine guidance. We are never alone. You are never alone, no matter how lonely you may feel. You can access the divine. The divine is within you, and you have divine access to it. You just need to ask. That's the whole thing. We have to ask, and it shall be given. So I would like to share with you now my near-death experience, and how it shaped me and taught me to trust my own inner guidance and intuition. Because since I had mine, I've been able to feel, hear, and receive messages from my loved ones in spirit. And that actually became the basis for my book, my first book that I wrote, Believe in Forever, How to Recognize Signs and Synchronicities that they send us. But it started out, I was feeling very ill, and I had measles. But what I didn't realize at the time, I was 6 years old, was that I was coming down with measles and encephalitis. And I was one of many children that was in an isolation ward at that time in Providence, Rhode Island, with this dreadful, what they considered an epidemic, the measles and encephalitis. The last thing that I remember was I came down, I woke up and I felt really, really awful. And I came downstairs to breakfast and just told my mother that I didn't feel well and that I felt dizzy. I was going to go sit on the couch until breakfast was ready. And that was the last thing I remember. I just drifted into an unconscious state, and my mother could not awaken me. Frantically, she called our pediatrician, who directed her to rush me to the hospital immediately. I awoke briefly from the coma to see several doctors dressed in white gowns with masks covering their face in a circle around my bed, talking about me and shaking their heads, saying, I don't know what's wrong with her. Do you know what's wrong with her? And those words itself, just seeing the mask, was just so frightening to me that I just went into total blackness at that point. I think I just went into total unconsciousness. And it was so black, there was no sound. It was just a sound, there was just a sense of emptiness, of nothingness. I felt myself start to spiral. It was a swirling, and there was a little bit of a sound of swirling, but I was inside a very dark tunnel. But it was only for a short period of time, because I started to notice there was a very dim light starting to form over in the right corner. So instinctively, I just set my focus on that light rather than the fear of the darkness that I was in. And as my intention started to get stronger, the light started to get stronger. And it got brighter and brighter. And then as the light grew brighter, I started to notice a figure was starting to form, or I was able to see it anyway as the light was brighter. And he was just standing at the end of the tunnel, but he put his hand out to me like this. So as he was reaching out, I could feel this tremendous love and warmth just coming from his hand. So I just naturally gravitated towards him. And the thing was, you don't walk when I say I gravitated towards him, I floated. You float in that realm. We don't walk. Everything is floating, and it's your mind. If you think of it, you're there. So it's instant. So as I floated towards him, he reached out and he took my hand. He took my right hand, and his hand was so warm, and I suddenly felt so safe, and I wasn't afraid anymore. So it seemed like we just walked like contently, like enjoying. I'm safe now. I don't know who he is, but I know I'm in a safe place. And we walked side by side along a path for a short distance until we came along a beautiful meadow with this emerald green, again, that's another picture, but the emerald green grass, lots of colorful flowers, wonderful smells, the sun was shining, it was just the right temperature, and it was so serene and peaceful. And as we were walking, I could start to hear music in the distance, and festive, like people talking and laughing. And we went up a hill, and when we got to the top and looked down, we could see, it was just so beautiful. It was like a big festival. People were sitting at tables, so they were coming together. There was music, they were dancing, there was water off to the side with ducks and lots of wildlife, and just kind of like the perfect Sunday afternoon of families being together and enjoying everybody's company, like a big picnic. Once we got over the hill, I noticed there was a table. There was a group of women at it, older women. And they looked over and they saw us and they got really excited. So they came running up the hill to us. And I thought they knew him and they were excited to see him and they were going to hug him. But they didn't. They were excited to see me. And they just wrapped their arms around and they were hugging me. I kind of feel them. I was like somewhere up here on them, and getting smothered by them almost. But I had no idea who these women were. But I knew I felt their love, and they were just so happy to see me, which I realize now they probably were my grandmothers and great-grandmothers and aunts, sisters or something from another time period. I just kind of, as a kid does too, you just kind of go along with it. This feels good, this is wonderful. And again, I felt so safe with them. But then the next thing I was aware of was that, and I don't know how long I was there. I really have no idea. It seemed like maybe like a day, a full day, like a full Sunday. But then we were in my hospital room. And we just drifted again. We did not walk. He was still holding my hand, never let go of my hand. But we drifted into my hospital room, and I could see myself lying on the bed. And my mother was sitting in a chair off to the side, and she was crying. So, we could feel her pain. We could feel her emotions. I felt it, and I could feel that he felt it too. So even though he was still holding my right hand, we drifted over to her, and he put his arm around her and around her shoulder, and he was just patting her shoulder. And he was saying, don't worry. Mary's going to be all right. Mary's going to be all right. So when he said that, I thought, okay, I felt comforted. He's telling my mother, I'm back in my room, that I'm going to be all right. And it was shortly after that I awoke from my coma. And I was totally unaware of how long I had been there. But the doctors told me, and my mom, that it had been a week. That I had been conscious for a week, and that the doctors were calling me the miracle child, because I was the only one in that hospital ward who survived without any serious physical or mental impairment. However, my two brothers disagreed with those doctors. They always said I was very weird. But the good thing about it was I got extra, Mary was had that, coma and stuff like that. So they cut me a lot of slack, which was really good. But it wasn't until when I was around 9 years old, I remember my mother and I finally sat and kind of talked, because an aunt had come to town and she was telling her how sick I had been. And I got scared at that point, thinking, oh no, am I sick again? You know, this sort of thing. She went, no. But she shared with me just what more detail as to what had happened, and that the doctors had prepared her and my dad that I might never awake from the coma, or if I did, I would surely have permanent brain damage. And my mother, though, shared with me that she never believed the doctors. She said, I didn't believe them. I just knew you were going to be all right. I just knew it. And I looked at her and I said, well, of course you knew it. That man told you. And then she looked at me then thinking, maybe the boys are right. She said, what man? What are you talking about? So I told her, I described to her what happened to me, and I said there was a man that came, and he took my hand, and I said he was tall, he had white hair, and this, I literally can still see it to this day. He had the most beautiful tanned three-piece suit. It was elegant. He was elegant. And he just was so warm, and he took my hand, and I said, we went to the hospital room, and I said, he put his arm around you and told you not to worry, that I was going to be all right. Mary was going to be all right. So with that, she started to cry and said, oh my goodness, she said, you just described my father. She said, he died, and I'm getting chills. He died the year before you were born. And I had always wished he had lived to see you, because I knew he would love you. And I said, he does love me. That's what I felt. I felt his wonderful love the whole time. So with that, my mother and I realized we had been given a very special gift. Okay. And it makes me think, and it's a part of what has changed my life and who I am. Because I question now the fact, if I had the fact that I had an out-of-body experience, a near-death experience, in my mind, my consciousness was feeling safe and loved. My body and my mind was not hearing the doctors saying, but they were saying to my parents. And then did my body respond differently? Was it not as affected by the swelling in my brain? Because I was feeling loved, I was not going into the fear. And also too, feeling that love with that heavenly family. And then my grandfather's hug, I saw him do it. She didn't know it, but intuitively she felt it. And she heard his words. So did her not believing and my not feeling it, is that how I became the miracle child of this epidemic? I believe it. I believe it is. I really do, because I know that it's a lesson that we can take during any crisis, to find stillness in our hearts. If we go within our hearts, if we meditate and we pray for guidance, and then listen. That's the key. Listen to the message. Don't go, oh no, I don't think I heard that. No, listen to what you get. It's that first message or thought that comes to you within seconds after you ask it. Listen to it. I will always be grateful to my parents who encouraged me as I grew older to seek further clarification of what I intuitively knew and learned from my near-death experience. I was given the gift of knowing that, again, that life exists beyond this physical realm, that unconditional love and support are always available to us, and that it's really like, it's really where life is, or should be for all of us. And I kind of apologize. I'm looking at my clock and I got my signal. I had a near-death experience here of my dear friend Lee, who had it at 27. which I really probably don't have time to tell you about. Are you sure? All right, where are that? Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, so again, I'm a member of the Newport, Rhode Island Ions group, and a dear friend of mine, Lee Riggs. She had a near-death experience at age 27 when she was in India no less, childbirth. I mean, really very difficult situation. And she went unconscious, she says. The lights went out and I slipped away. There was a moment of darkness. That part of me rose and floated up to the corner of the room. I hovered there briefly, observing the scene below. I saw my body lying on the delivery table, surrounded by people in white coats who seemed to be in great commotion. They were panicking big time. They were losing her. She says, slowly I floated upward out of the room and the building above the trees into a black star-filled sky. In the studded darkness, I was carried gently into the distance like a petal drifting on the surface of a stream. See how much more descriptive she is than I am? A 27-year-old versus a 6-year-old. She said, I became aware that there was no time. There was no yesterday or tomorrow. There were no boundaries. There was no pain. There was no pain. And she was in tremendous pain with this shoot, that she was literally dying. While I floated into the darkness, the earth appeared far below me and gradually came into my vision. Suddenly I knew, without a shadow of a doubt, that I had entered another existence that was neither a dream nor a hallucination. I knew it was real, as true, as palpable, and as certain as had been my life on earth. I then became aware that although I had left my body behind, whatever constituted who I was still alive and remained unchanged. I saw that this other form in which I existed was like an orb, a transparent energy surrounding my soul, or the consciousness which was the essence of myself. I realized that this soul had lived before my birth, throughout my life, and on into eternity, part of the cosmic consciousness in which I then found myself. While all the orbs had played on in earth, while all the roles I had played on earth in my lifetime were impermanent, in a constant flux of change, my soul was changeless. In this bodiless state, I was suddenly struck by the realization that I had been here before my life on earth. I was remembering things I had forgotten, something that had been erased from my memory when I was born. This was where I had originally come from. I had come home. Some invisible, silent source of infinite knowledge seemed to surround me, giving me answers to life's eternal question: where do we go when we die? Or, how was life in the world created? It was never clear to me why I became separated from this source in its infinite knowledge at birth. The next thing I experienced was being drawn like a magnet into the light itself. Now the earth was so far away that it seemed to disappear from my consciousness. The intensity of this light and my direct experience of it transcends expressions in words. It was brilliant, white gold transparency, radiating warmth and pure luminescence. It seemed to be a nucleus of energy that was the essence of life itself, that changed all matter. Cradled in this light, I was filled with a sense of joy, charm, calm, peace, and beauty that were until then unknown to me. Unlike the beauty I had experienced on earth, this beauty was eternally renewing and all-encompassing. I perceived this light as the essence of divine love. Then a message was transmitted. Again, it was energetically, without words, but rather as knowledge that permeated to the core of my soul with a meaning. If you only had known I was here, you would never have had to go through this. Hearing this, I understood this light had been absent in my life, and its absence had been the cause of my suffering. On earth, I had feared death. Now I understood that death was not an end, but a beginning. It was a transition from one form to another. It was a return to the home from which I had come. My soul had entered the divine consciousness of eternal life, where all wisdom and knowledge resided. As I lay cradled in this loving light, a phrase came to me. Now I know, now I know. This was where my true self belonged. I knew I had come home to my final resting place, back to the source from which I had come, the end of all my suffering. Then I heard a soft laughter, which felt like the wise and gentle smile of the Buddha permeating me. Again, I was surprised and perplexed. I had not expected to hear laughter from a divine force. My child, you must not take things so seriously. You are just part of an evolutionary continuum in which all life evolves at different stages of development. You are only human, growing and learning in your own time. You need not judge yourself so harshly. Be gentle with yourself. In this communication, the most important message revealed to me was that the primary cause of my suffering was a fundamental sense of unworthiness and lack of self-love, which bred fear and all that stemmed from it. My lesson was to learn to love myself. I had gotten only the slightest glimpse of the limitless realms beyond the infinite boundaries of the world we inhabit. I was eager to learn more. At the same time, I was content to float indefinitely in the peace and the joy of the light, where I had come to know with certainty that it was love. This was followed by an intense realization that the deepest yearnings of humans was to be connected, to love and to be loved. It was so clear, so profoundly felt, that I could not face to return to the world in which this simple truth remained, to so many unknown, unrealized, or buried. I wanted to stay forever in the presence of this light. The light knew my thoughts and said simply, "You must return." Upon being told I must return, I feared being sent back to the same world I had observed from afar, steeped in its sufferings, sent back to my human form, where once again I would be bound by the same conditions and limitations I had left behind. I was too far away in the cosmos to remember why I was being sent back. "Please," I begged, "please let me stay. Don't send me back." A hand then reached out from the light, palm up, with beautiful, long, and slender fingers. "My child," I heard it say, with a tenderness that will haunt me forever, "I have given you the gift of love. I have given you the gift of love." I tried to hold on to the hand, but with a wrenching in my heart, I felt it slip away forever, as it said, "Your life is not completed." And she awoke and she came back from it. So, again, I feel her experience is so amazing because she's able to describe it and has such an understanding. Mostly, she felt that she had returned home, and she had no desire to go back to the body that she in the earth. She felt no pain. and that there was no time, there was no yesterday or tomorrow. She perceived the light as divine love, which I did as well. And that if she had only known that she had all of this love, she did not have it in her childhood, and she actually expressed to me she had no education or any exposure to God or to church or anything when she was a child. But her fear of death changed, and mostly she realized there's no judgment. There was no punishment from the light. There was only the unqualified love, unconditional acceptance, and that came to a shock to her. And her main lesson was to learn to love herself, and that she was given that gift of love. Yeah. So thank you for, yes, because I do feel, again, when I first heard her experience, I thought, oh my goodness, I've given presentations with her, and sometimes you would just say, oh Mary, I don't feel like I can talk today. So it's like, that's okay, give me your script. I think it's helpful for all of you. So I'll just say quickly, if I know we ran way over, but does anyone have a question in particular?
I do. I'm wondering, is there actual physical pain at the time of death? Like whether somebody dies in a car accident, or like 9/11 when people were jumping out the windows, or somebody in a nursing home,
Yes.
or somebody with cancer. Is there actual pain in those situations?
Yeah, no, you know, all the experiences of everybody, and again, there's thousands of near-death experience, there is no pain. There is no pain. You actually, your consciousness has started to leave the body, and you are outside of your body. If it's a car accident, it's fast. You just leave and you're immediately up there looking down at the accident, at your body, but you pop right out.
Does the consciousness leave before the impact, or just right at that moment?
Right around that moment or just before. Like they do say, people, and even this comes from mediums, okay, communicating with people on the other side, people who were murdered have come back and said, because their families were so concerned that it was a horrible death for them, that they left the body before the attack, like moments before. There's like a protection that comes around the soul, and that they know the body's going, not to survive this. So the soul does leave, and they experience it. They see what happened to them, but they're not in their body. They're out of the body at that point, above, looking down.
Wow.
But not feeling the pain, not feeling it.
That's great, thank you.
Yes. Okay. And does anybody else have a question? No? All right, then I will step.
I think I was transported there for a few minutes. So this is the portion of our service where we are so blessed to acknowledge all of the amazing gifts that we have been given in this life. And so if you would please repeat with me our offering blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
All right, we're so glad you're back, Mary. I have only one song that I could come up with for your experience, and I need you all to help me. It's called Zippity Doo Dah. Zippity zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine coming my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder. It's the truth, it's actual. Everything is satisfactual. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Wonderful feeling, a wonderful day. Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder. It's the truth, it's actual. Everything is satisfactory. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Wonderful feeling, wonderful day.
It is indeed with great gratitude that we share a portion of our bounty with Unity. We know that these gifts go forward to bless and expand good in our church, our community, and wherever there are needs. Thank you, Spirit, and so it is. All right, and I think we are to our announcement parts. So, feel free. This can be very interactive because I'm not sure I have everything here. First of all, oh my goodness, there are just so many wonderful volunteers every week, many days during the week who help to get everything ready for Sunday, the beautiful flowers, our media experts, Jerry, oh my goodness, our prayer chaplains, and Candace said today she is going to be our prayer chaplain. So by all means, if you feel any special needs that you would like to spend a little time with her, please, she will be over in this area and be happy to spend some time with you. Let's just see, what do we have? Well, certainly if we look through the month, the crafters meet the fourth Tuesday, so we have that coming up. We have a writers group that meets every first and third Tuesday. And then on Thursdays at 6 p.m., we have our meditation here with Daisy. So please, by all means, check your bulletin or online, and please come and join us for any or all of these activities. And of course, every week after our service, we have a time of fellowship with some snacks and goodies and so forth. And if I am not mistaken, I believe today is our annual meeting. Is that right? Yeah. The third? Yeah. Well, son of a gun, look at this. Indeed it is. So immediately after church, and it will be members who are eligible to vote. And please, did I miss anything that anyone would like to bring up? Or yes, ma'am.
This week, I am going to order new name tags for people who want them. So there is a sign-up board back there. Please print your name clearly so that I get it right. And each name tag is $10. You can either leave the money today or when I deliver the name tag to you. Oh, and I wanted to point out that yesterday, a group of 5 men were here all day long and cleared debris and trimmed trees and put everything in shape for us. I mean, it was a monumental task. They had this huge truck just overflowing with the yard debris that they took away, and they will be coming every week and keeping our property nice and in good shape. So I just wanted to, just give them a big thanks because it was so much work. bless these people for doing that in such hard work.
Just before we do our peace song, I did just want to say to Mary, and I'm sure everyone felt so moved by her talk. So many of us grew up with these dark thoughts about someone passing, and I just enjoyed so much the staircase that just, wanders off into the sky. And it's just absolutely wonderful and beautiful to think that that is what awaits all of us. And I remember asking my mother one time, and I thought, oh my gosh, it must be awful to die. And she said, well, sweetheart, I look at it this way. So many more cowards have gone on to whatever it is than I, that must not be that bad. I think about that every now and then to add the beauty of it to it, it is an absolute amazing experience that awaits us, and to see what goes on beyond that, because there certainly are lots of amazing things that are beyond it. So please, if you will rise. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, if it's possible, can we put off the annual meeting till next week? Because there's just so much to talk about, and I don't know. I can't go for
No, we have to do it this week.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, are we ready for
Go.
Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. Now there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as the power, loved ones all are we. Now I walk with my family in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me, and this is the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me.
together.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God unfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and so it is.
I thought that was you sitting up there with the TV. I didn't want to tell you a lot about money they took off. I saw Billy. I was surprised Billy was showing. I saw him at the rock concert. They said he was here last night. Yeah, well, I went to the rock concert.
Was it good?
Oh, yeah, it was cheap. It was pretty good.
I was in the parking lot. That's so good.
Thank you.
You do a great job.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.